Hi guys, this is Snapcraft once again and welcome to another series of StarCraft English commentary. We're going to continue on with the Laddernet series. This time around we're not going to be having Flash playing, but it's going to be two very acclimated players duking out on the map Retro. We're going to be having Light versus B-Shoes. That's right, Light is going to be the green color, green Terran player located at the top left, and B-Shoes is going to be the violet purple color at the top right. And like I mentioned to you, the map is going to be Retro. Let me just quickly show you the map artifact. And on this map, Terran players, they enjoy a 49.3% win rate, over Protosses in the entire lifespan of this map. So slight advantage going to B-Shoes here. But of course, it's going to be all up to skill level. And this week on the Laddernet, on the ELO board ranking, it's going to quickly show you the leaderboard ranking here. There it is. B-Shoes is ranked number 5 and Light is ranked number 6. So these are possibly some of the best players, ever, that we're going to be witnessing today here. So this game, I have not watched it, but I know that is semi-epic. I'm going to give it maybe a 1 fire or 2 fire evaluation score. So if you have been following my evaluation score, I hope you get some information about that. So let's get started right away. It looks like we're gonna be having very standard opening here from both of these players. Looks like Light is gonna be coming out for an early scout, going in the right direction. B-Shoes is gonna be going for core here, and he's not yet scouting. So when he sees his SCV arriving, he will need to make a decision as to what to do. Whether to go for quick expand or try to take the SCV out with a probe micro or something like that. Looks like Light is getting ready for an expansion, and he's gonna be feeling very happy when he sees that it's gonna be an early core and not an early Zealot attack. A probe tries to take a peek at that SCV, but not able to inflict any kind of damage. And we're not going to be seeing any kind of Zealot coming out. And you can see that at the top left, production tab here, and you're not seeing any kind of early aggression from B-Shoes. So Light is going to be feeling very happy. And we do see the first Dragoon coming out now. So that's going to be a long time until actually B-Shoes can apply the pressure. And B-Shoes might be actually looking forward to take his own expansion. And if this is the way it goes, and Light has a slight economic advantage because he's able to expand relatively quickly. As you can see, he's not even making any kind of marine. The Dragoon is almost here, so he needs to start to make a marine now, I think, and start to go down with a bunker. Of course, maybe he's banking on the fact that his enemy is not yet scouted, so maybe Light thinks that B-Shoes will be scouting in the wrong direction, and that's going to be his chance here. We're going to be seeing the first marine coming out and the bunker comes out, so the timing is completely impeccable from Light. He's not missing a single beat. By the time this Dragoon arrives, he will not have any chance to hit at his bunker, because range is not yet complete. So yeah, so far B-Shoes has got a shorter end of the stick, but don't count it out because he's a very strong player. Yeah, the bunker complete just on time. As you can see, these pro gamers are so good. They can just completely know the other guy's timing and stuff like that. So it's gonna be very good. The probe is gonna return home now. Is B-Shoes gonna be going for a quick expansion behind this, or is it gonna be going for Robo? Looks like early Robo without core upgrade is going to be the name of the game here, and he's going to try to apply a little bit of pressure. Now, this spawning positions for the two players does not favor drops in the early stage of the game from B-Shoes, because in order to inflict damage on Light, he needs to fly across this northern corridor, and we hit this base first, and then he will arrive here. So if Light wants to defend, he just needs to build turrets here, and then later he's going to be able to build some of the turrets inside this main. We're going to be having the Dragoon just attacking the barracks a little bit here. Second factory comes down for Light inside the B-Shoes base. He's finally going to be going up with a second Dragoon and core upgrade here. Probes getting transferred towards a new base. So the game is looking very interesting. So I'm going to take this chance to read some advertising. My name is Snapcraft. Welcome to my channel. I hope you've enjoyed the games that we've casted so far. Basically, especially the ASL Season 18 qualifying games. I hope you have had some good, satisfying results. I hope that the players that you're cheering for have qualified. If they have not, or you're cheering for some kind of underdog players, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about, what are your preferences in terms of who you cheer for and stuff like that. Anyhow, if you like this kind of, insanely fast English commentaries of games with a lot of information, just such as map logos, map photos, ELO scores, per matchup win rates, etc. I beg you for your support. You can just buy me a coffee. A small amount would help. And you can do all of that by using the Zelle account. This is my Zelle account here if you're an American citizen. If you're not, you can use your credit card or your PayPal account. The link to all of that is going to be in the video description. Last but not least, if you have a Patreon account or YouTube, a Google payment card linked, you can also, just subscribe to the Patreon or the YouTube membership program. All of that is going to be available. Anyway, it's going to be having the first Reaver harassments coming out now from Bishu's. Singularity charge is almost done. The Reaver is here. This Shadow is gonna load up double Zealot and Reaver. What is going inside of Light Space? Like he's prepared for this eventuality. He's got some turrets, in the perfect locations. This engineering base is gonna try to spot what happens here. 3 turrets is gonna be good enough to kind of deter any kind of forces for now. Looks like behind this, Bishu's gonna try to expand. If he is playing the style that I hope he's playing, he will take the expansion before the battle begins. But it looks to me like he is not gonna do that. He's gonna try to save up his money. Yet you can see his money is gonna be going up a little bit slowly here. But before it reaches 400, the battle might start. No, Bishu's gonna time it just right. He will put down the Nexus now, and by the time the battle finishes, then he's gonna have enough money. We're gonna be having the tanks from Light. He sees the vision, and he's gonna arrive with the rest of his forces now. And we're gonna be having some small skirmishes ensuing. The Shadow is gonna drop a double Zealot, and the Reaver gonna be having a Marine attacking on this right side. Bishu's, what is he doing? He's landing a Zealot. The Reaver is gonna take a single shot. That is a good shot. The Zealot is dead, but together with it is gonna be 3 Marine. The Shadow is so damaged with 4 shield and 33 HP. It's gonna be landing in the corner. That's gonna be a mistake because the Shadow cannot live to fight another day. The Reaver's gonna take one more shot. The tank dies. Very good for Bishu's to actually get the tank, because if he did not get a tank, that would have been a failed attack. But at the last minute, he was able to get the tank. So at least that is some consolation prize. Behind us, we're seeing Shadow speed being upgraded now for turn. It's gonna be weapons 1 and some Goliaths getting upgraded. So that's nice. These tanks gonna get repaired. Yeah. So that was a little bit clumsy, I think. From Light to actually lose one of the tank. If he didn't lose the tank, he would be completely in the win, but now he's slightly on even footing with Bishu's here. 3 Vultures start to come out and attack some random locations. Gonna try to look at the 3 o'clock position, or maybe just gonna check out the other bases on this map to see if Bishu's is expanded or not. We're gonna be having the second Reaver popping here as well as a Shadow. So Light, we need to be worried about that. Is he gonna try to expand? No, he's just gonna go up to 5 factories. So we have 5 factory from the Terran players with a lot of upgrades and Corp Sat stations going up. For the Protoss players, it's gonna be 4 Gateway and Probe Saturating new base as well. Vulture's gonna try to come out here and lay some mines. So any kind of expansion towards the bottom right at this early stage of the game is gonna be impossible from Bishu's. Nice scan to take out the first observer of the game. Like I mentioned to you in some of my previous casts, in 2024, the meta for Terran is all about taking out observers, and we're seeing that he's scanning the main Bishu's to see if there's any kind of switch into into carriers or some crazy shenanigans like that. Bishu's has been experimenting with a lot of stuff these days, guys. Sometimes he goes for Arbiter play, sometimes he goes for carriers, sometimes he goes for Temptar strategy. By the way, Temptar strategy is a strategy where you just put Templars inside the Shadow and just fly around and wreak havoc on the Terran bases. So that is what Bishu's goes for some of the times, but some of the time he does some other crazy stuff. But anyways, Bishu's gonna try to take a 4th base tail. This base looks very undersaturated, guys. I feel like Bishu's need to transfer a little bit more probes, because you can see his main base is very much saturated. His expansion is slightly saturated, but his 3rd base has very few probes. So that's something I want to point out. Of course, the pro gamers, they know better than me. Maybe they think that there's going to be a risk of Vulture run by or drops or something like that, so they don't want to saturate too much the bases that they cannot contain. Anyhow, looks like tanks going to be coming out on this map here. This Reaver is going to be on the low ground, and the tank is going to push back the Dragoons. We're going to be having the Terran player take this 3rd base here, the 12 o'clock position. And like I mentioned to you, on this map, Retro, the player with a slight, map control is gonna try to take the middle base between him and the opponent. That is the usual style here, because this base is kind of easy to hold on the high ground. Anyways, Bishu's gonna be coming from the other side. He's got to land a Reaver. He's got double Reaver. The tanks are not shelling the right units. 1 tank down. The other tank from the back is gonna be destroyed. The Goliath is gonna be better. The moment the Goliath is destroyed, it's gonna be great. Looks like Light is not targeting the Reaver, so both Reavers live for the time being. And now I think Bishu's can load up his Shadow, or maybe if he has a second Shadow, he can load it up with some Zealot. But Zealot, like, it's almost it just started, not yet completed. We have +1 weapons underway and +1 armor underway because the tank has +1 weapons finished already. These Reavers are still doing good shot, but the tanks are looking very, very strong. So Bishu's is in a dire situation. He's gonna try to go for a counter attack on this side of the map to try to cut off any kind of reinforcement. Let's see who's gonna be able to prevail in this battle. Zealot's gonna try to come out to buy some time. Very good. Bishu's can just use one Reaver, don't use both, because when you use both Reavers, you risk damaging them. So that's going to be the problem here. Dragoon's going to try to go on this high ground and stop any kind of reinforcement. So this is a nice strategy for Bishu's. Looks like the tanks from Light is going to return. He's got several tanks and they're kind of damaged. And Bishu's, knowing that, he's going to try to go out here and destroy the turrets. And he's possibly going to back up. He's going to be super careful. He takes out the turrets, maybe. No, he's trying to run away. And these Dragoon's going to get destroyed in the process here. Very, very nice mine explosion from Light. We are at the 10 minute and 45th second of the game. Bishu's is 124 supply. Light is around 115 supply. So about 15 supply difference between these two players. Light, after he clears his expansion, is going to try to go out here and attack once again. And we're going to be having slow tank crawling forward here. Bishu's got shuttle with speed completed. These Vultures going to try to look for, any kind of bases here. He scans and sees that no base has been taken. So that's a constellation pride. These tanks shelling this pylon is a mistake here, because a single shuttle can just land here and wreak those tanks. So that's going to be something that we need to think about. Anyways, tanks are going to start to move forward. And looks like Zealot with leg is going to complete very, very soon now. So that is going to be something that we're going to look forward to. We have Reavers controlling this middle ground. Both the players are kind of really playing maximum StarCraft here. One Zealot was able to bomb those like I mentioned, just sacrifice one shuttle to bomb these 3 tanks, and they're going to be completely toasted. So that's going to be something that I want Bishu to kind of execute in the next few minutes. But for the time, he's going to try to hold this middle ground with his Reavers and try to force the Terran to try to slow him down. Looks like Bishu is microing hard. He's got a lot of gateways. Light is scanning a lot of places. We're going to be having Vultures coming out here. We're going to be having the Reaver, maybe Zealot bombing. But yeah, there's going to be just enough Zealot to hold this. I don't know. These 2 Reavers gonna still camp out here and try to slow down the advancement of the Terran troops here. Anyways, Zealot need to kind of back up. Dragoon's gonna try to hold on this side, because any kind of attack on this base is gonna be devastating. So for the time being, Bishu's gonna try to hold. He's gonna try to do some crazy sick mine drives. You can see here, beautiful Zealot bombing from the sky. This Reaver with the shuttle with the 2 Reavers is actually still not being used in the process here. So that's interesting. His Zealot still coming out. Now, if the battle continues on like this, Bishu is trading a lot better than Light, guys. So Light need to either win right away or do something else, because he's trading really expensive units that scale slowly, like the tanks, for easy, cheap units that scale quickly, like the Zealot. So that's good for Bishu. And looks like the last of the tank is going to try to get on this high ground here, but Reavers are waiting for them, and Bishu is going to take a shot. Oh my god, that was a nice mine explosion. He's going to land another Reaver to do another shot, I think, or maybe just use the Zealot to attack here. Looks like we're at the 12 minutes mark of the game, and the game is completely stabilizing. We're going to be having a double Dark Templar destroying some of these Vultures. We need to pick them up now, because scan is going to be underway. Another Nexus goes up. Does Light have any kind of plans to expand? Yes, he does have a command center, but his spell attack against Bishu's expansion is going to try to come back and hurt him a little bit. We're going to be having a Dark Templar landing here. Very, very nice scan, but that Dark Templar gets picked up right away. This probe cancels the expansion. Very interesting, because Bishu thinks he doesn't have enough forces to actually go and save his base, especially against 5 or 6 Vultures, so he cancels it right away. He will have a chance to come back and attack later. These 3 Dark Templars is being very, very annoying inside a shadow. Does Bishu have anything else inside of attack? Just a Templar Archive, nothing else. This pylon is gonna finally get destroyed. Oh my god, Bishu, are you paying attention? You need to make something else, and indeed we're gonna be having a shadow that lands with some Dragoons here. Very, very good at the last minute for him to kind of hold this area. He's got a gateway to block it, which is great. Behind this, Light is kind of on a setback here. 124 supply for Light, 152 for Bishu. The game is still raging on. These 2 Reavers have been so useful. One with 9 kills, one with 10 kills. More Vultures coming out, and Light, we need to decide where to take the base. He's going to try to take the base here. I don't know if that's such a good idea or not, because Protoss have an overwhelming control on the map so far. Anyways, this Vulture is going to push Bishu's back. Bishu's going to reinforce the rest of his forces. He's going to be super careful, because the mine dragging is going to be insane here. For the last time, it looks like Bishu's going to try to control this area nicely. Let's take a look at the upgrades so far. Looks like for Protoss, it's got only +1 weapons. For Terran, it's got +1 weapons and +1 armor. Upgrade for Terran is not yet started on the next level. And for Protoss, ground armor is being upgraded. So Protoss is going to be up to the same upgrade as Terran momentarily. Very, very nice Reaver, just doing a lot of good shots and slowing the advancements of the Terran army. Looks like Bishu is going to allow his enemy to take this base. Goliath need to get sniped now. Looks like both of the Reavers die, so that's not good. The Shadow is going to be hiding in the corner, but no, it dies now. So the game is going to stabilize now. This map, this base finally goes up, and Bishu is going to try to save it. He needs to save it now. 3 Butchers get on the high ground. Yeah, Bishu's gonna try to go there with some of the Dragoons, but he's eating some mines. So the game is very much, even here between these two players. Bishu is almost mined out of his main, so need to make a decision as to what to do next. And looks like Light takes a scan just to check for the situation in random locations here. We're gonna be having Bishu still controlling this area. He's got a lot of Zealot with a high Templars. You need to actually go for major attack. Let's take a look at the turret defense. We're gonna be having a drop of 4 vulture drop. It's a good idea because this base is so saturated. These probes need to run for their lives. It looks like Bishu is not paying attention. His attention is split somewhere else. But we do have some probes getting transferred now, so that's good. This shadow is this dropship still have 2 vultures. Gonna try to go to this other side of the map and lay some more mine. Yeah, he's gonna lay some mine here. He's gonna try very much hard here to attack here, and indeed that dropship will die. I think it will not be able to survive here. We're going to be having more scans. And yeah, this base is completed. So Bishu need to transfer probes there. He's very slow to transfer, but we're going to be having a small attack here. So Light is kind of holding the area of the 12 o'clock position. He doesn't have much forces to go out there. He's gonna have to rely on mainly Vulture run by to attack this base. If he can actually get some probe kills in that area, it's gonna be great. Looks like Bishu's got only a single Dragoon to support it. Vulture's gonna run to that side, but Bishu's is scrambling to get in position. There's so many forces stuck here at the top position that's not being used, so that's gonna be interesting here. Yeah, I think looks like the probe is gonna be able to transfer nicely. He's gonna be having a pylon block. The probes need to. What is he doing with this probe? I'm not so sure. Yeah, there's a single Vulture here being very, very annoying, so that's what happens. He's gonna try to attack it with just probes, and yeah, that's gonna be very, very funny. But I think Bishu's finally is gonna clear the situation out. Supply wise, after 16 minutes of the game, Bishu's 185 and Light is 133, so Bishu's got a slight advantage, but he needs to get his bases up like now so he can actually get a booming economy coming out. We're gonna be having more vultures decide to go for run bys here. There's some vultures waiting in the middle of the map, and he's scanning frantically to check for presence of probe transfers, any kind of openings he can exploit. But it looks like Bishu's is almost maxed out. He's gonna control this area with a lot of forces. He scanned to see any High Templars presence, but there are no High Templars. Gonna try to run in here. There are some Zealot, and he gets on this base. Oh my god, this base is completely open with only a few Dragoons. He needs to evacuate all of the probes now. Looks like the probes are gonna try to attack. This is not gonna be a mine drag. The probes are attacking nicely. That's good. This is gonna be a mine drag, destroying some of the vultures. Oh my god, Bishu's is, having his typical, I don't know, Shadow moment, I guess, because Bishu's is a good player, but Shadow is not a good player. By the way, I'm gonna spoil the results of the prelims in the last 2 days, so if you don't like that, just pause the video and go and watch the prelims or something like that, because Shadow has been eliminated. I guess he's failed to qualify, is a better word. He's not eliminated, he's failed to qualify for ASL, alongside some other players like Gekmo, Killer, Calm, but Shadow is the biggest name, I think. Who's not yet qualifying for the next season, given the fact that he is one of the ASL previous champion. Okay, oh my god, look at his base Bishu's. Very few probes, and his attention is split somewhere. As you can see, his APM is very low. Of course, this is just a training game. This Ladder series game don't actually mean anything to these pro gamers. They care more about, for example, DPL or ASL or maybe KCM to some extent. But anyways, looks like Bishu's gonna try to contain his enemy on the high ground. Light does not have any kind of openings to move on, and Bishu's is also going to try to expand towards this other side of the map. This command center is not allowed to land for the time being. Yeah, maybe Light is going to be waiting for him to max out before actually advancing. +2 weapons and +1 armor for Light. For Bishu's is +1 weapons and +1 armor only. He's going to upgrade what Bishu's upgrading: +1 weapons, +2 weapons, +2 armor, and he's also upgrading energy for his Templar so that each Templar can have 2 storm. We're going to be having some Templar dropping here. Very nice. 1 storm, 2 storm. Sniping action is a little bit slow for Light here. He was not able to snipe the High Templar, and they're casting several storm on the clumped up tanks. Bishu's done enough damage. It's gonna be time for him to back up now. He is gonna possibly back up. These 2 tanks are so damaged, but they will get repaired. So that's very interesting. After that battle is over, supply-wise, Bishu is 169 and Light is 125. This is a nice attack, and that command center is gonna get forced to get pulled back once again. What is Light next strategy? He comes out here with a frontal attack. He says, you know what? I want to, catch you off guard where your army's out of position, but we're gonna be having storming. Very nice storm against the tanks here. It's gonna storm his own observer, which is not good. But we're gonna be having more drops happening. This is a quadruple shadow drop with a lot of Zealot. The tanks moving down south is gonna be facing a lot of storm. He storms the units on the ram. He does more storm, and Light is so clumsy. He's gonna be losing so much forces. Storm do the full damage even from below the ram. So that's gonna be the problem that Bishu is facing, that Light is facing, and Zealot dragging mines into everything, exploding a lot of tanks. And look at the supply difference. That was a crazy battle. Light is gonna be behind by about 50 supplies. He's gonna try to camp out here with some more forces, but he's eating so many storms. He's eating so many storms, and this base of construction is easy to take for Terran, but to move from it into an offensive position is so hard. And Light is feeling the rate now from the Proton Sprints. These tanks, of course, they're very much highly upgraded, but they are no match against the Psionic Storms here. Looks like Light's gonna try to come out. Remember that Light is still on just 2 bases. He is still on 2 bases, guys. He doesn't have a lot of bases to work with here, and Bishu's got a lot of minerals mining in several locations. Looks like these tanks gonna try to go somewhere else. They might go towards the bottom right. This is gonna be a long march here from Light. It would take a long time for him to go there, and by the time he reached that base, Bishu's would have a lot of forces to come out. He needs to actually clear these pylons so he can actually move out effectively, and that's going to take a couple of seconds, so that's going to be interesting here. Probes need to, you know, kind of leave the area and go on the high ground. I think looks like we have a small skirmish here. These tanks are going to be sieging, but Bishus is getting ready to just explode out on the map with so many Dragoons here. These tanks need to be in the siege position now, and probes need to run on the high ground. We're going to be having reinforcement. Okay, SCV is going to try to finally move here, so Light is going to be having another base to work with here, and Bishus finally come up with the rest of his forces, but he's not attacking. He's going to allow his enemy to take this base. He's not even transferring probes on the high ground. He needs to do that right now. What is he doing? He's, you know, just gearing up with a lot of shuttle and loading stuff into the shuttle. He's gonna try to land from the sky here. Probes are getting destroyed left and right, and this is unfortunate for Bishus. If he has evacuated on the high ground, he will be able to save a lot of probes. So it looks like Bishus is gonna be going for the counter-attack here. This base is lightly defended. He says, you know what, I don't care, take my base. If you can destroy your, like, one of your last functioning bases, I'm gonna be winning here. So he's gonna try to do that. That is a beautiful destroying so many forces, so many SCVs. But Bishu's gonna be losing 2 bases, so I don't know if that's a good idea or not. That's gonna be a nice round to eat up all of those tanks, and yeah, this base falling is gonna be a problem here for Light. Light still have a new base though, but Bishus has awareness of that base, so he's gonna try to send some forces over. What is Bishus' next move? Is he gonna take this base for himself? Is he gonna advance towards the Terran expansion? He's gonna try to do something else with having this base getting destroyed, and Pylon is gonna finally have to get created here just to block this ramp up. Bishus gotta frantically go for the offense. He says, you know what? Take my base. I don't care. I'm going to take out your last remaining base. It's going to be the final battle. If Bishus win this battle, he's going to be clear for the win. Light need to evacuate the rest of his forces. He's not using them at all in the upcoming battles. Tanks attacking and shuttle landing stuff from the sky here. That's going to be a lot of stuff. These shuttles are empty though. They don't have anything. Okay, these shuttles do have something. High Templar gets sniped right away. That's slightly unfortunate, but more High Templars stop dropping, and you can see that Light doesn't have forces in the right location. Guys, SCVs are exploding left and right. No more forces for Light. Is he gonna try to go for a counterattack? He's gonna try to go for a counterattack and a 3 cluster because he knows this is the last remaining base of Bishus. But this command center is gonna burn. Bishus need to burn it down ASAP. Light is gonna be able to attack this. Bishus got very few probes remaining. Remember that he's transferred all of his probes is from various locations. He actually doesn't have any more probes. Light is gonna live his command center. What? Light doesn't have any more minerals remaining, guys. He's not mining minerals. This is gonna be the last base for Bishus, but Bishus is ahead by about 70 supply. He's leading by a lot of supply. He's going to try to save his base and trying to go somewhere else. His command center going to go and land here. And he's going to be going for distance mining for some time. This command center, this gateway is going to fall. Bishus is going to need to evacuate his probe. I think don't even need to mine anymore because it's going to be better to save your probe for a future engagement later. We're going to be having a small attack happening here. And Bishus once again is going to try to hold this ramp. He knows that Light is not mining. So if he can just hold this area for a little bit longer, he's going to be clear for the win. This base is going to go up here. So Bishus need to actually save his probes and send them somewhere else, I think. Looks like distance mining is going to be happening in the 9th competition. So this game is wild and wacky. I thought this game would be a very standard game, but I didn't know that it's going to go down to the haywire like this. And Light gets on the high ground and he's going to try to siege one of his tanks here. Destroying the Dragoon. Looks like we're going to be having Bishus attacking from the other side of the map. Nice attack on a High Templar, but the reinforcement from the back is going to crush Light. This is going to be the final battle. Thanks a lot for watching this game. If you like this guy, feel free to buy me a coffee. The link to that is going to be in the video description because Light has fought valiantly, but it's not enough to hold against Bishus. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Bye-bye.